Welcome to the Mad Panda podcast, where hip hop doesn't have an expiration date. I am Nate, along with my co-host Silas, and today we're diving deep into everything hip hop. So let's get it.
And as usual, thanks for tuning in. And if you like, please like, subscribe, and share so that we can continue to build. So today I think we were going to talk about
Sales versus followers.
Yeah, so popularity versus like actually making money.
Yeah,
things like that. So yeah, I know there's a lot of artists out there that have a lot of followers, but they're broke.
yeah, no, they can't really sell like tickets or really perform or live well because they have a false security on, hey, I have 3 million followers.
Yeah, but nobody's buying my music.
Nobody's buying my music. Which that kind of follows into why we starting to see more and more concert tickets are a lot higher.
Yeah.
Now because people aren't buying music. So they're like, because we're doing a lot of streaming now, so people aren't really buying music. And just on the last episode, we talked about Spotify with their whole,
not paying anybody.
Yeah. And so I think that a lot of ways these artists do have to eat is if they bump up the ticket prices.
Yeah, doing live and then also doing merch sales.
Yeah, merch sales
at the venues. And I've seen, and I'm not sure in the hip hop world as much, but I know in the punk and the rock scene, a lot of these venues have started basically forcing artists, like if you sign to play at their venue, you have to give them like 20% of your merch sales.
Wow.
And so I've seen a bunch of artists that they're like, we're not selling anything tonight, but they'll have a van outside. And so after the show, the van will pull up and you can buy stuff.
And you can buy stuff out the van.
Okay. Or I saw one where the artist was basically handing out, they were flyers at the event, and they had a code to give you like 10% off on their website.
Okay.
Free shipping or something like that. So it was basically like, sorry, we can't sell here because we just don't make any money on it anymore. So
you can say, we can buy anything.
If you want to support me, go ahead and buy on there.
Bet.
And here's a little bit of a discount, to make it worthwhile. So, and it's sad though, because these venues are already making all that money off, the beer sales and the food sales.
Yeah.
And they take a lot of the ticket sales, so now they're forcing, that's where the artists, with the rise of all the streaming and stuff, the artists had to sell merch to make money.
Yeah.
And now those venues are taking a big chunk of it. And I know there's been some lawsuits filed by some artists trying to stop some of that. And
which they should.
Yeah. And there was I know some venues were being banned by, like I said, a lot of this is in like the metal and punk world. I'm not 100% sure how it's handled in the hip hop side, but yeah, it's disappointing when you see that it's like you already know these artists are struggling and you're just going to try to take more from them.
Just getting greedy.
Yeah, and you know that they have to perform to make money, so you're kind of forcing them.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make any money, you got to give me some of it. So
yeah, and with that, it's kind of like with the albums, with the sales versus the followers. When we get into that realm of performing, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of started to take out because since they're bumping up tickets, they started to take away, like people are not buying.
Yeah.
And so that means we start to get festivals now to where it's like 1,000 artists on one show,
Yeah, they're doing like 10-minute sets and probably only making $50 to do it and stuff.
Yeah, so that sucks because, I never been to a festival, but I seen them and I'm like, that is not a place I would want to be. Just only see my artist for like 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like within like a 30-minute period.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, nah.
I've been to a lot of festivals. I like them actually because you do get to see a lot of variety depending on the festival itself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because a lot of them, they'll have the main stage, and I tend to actually go to the smaller stages because that's the bands I like.
That was the main.
Yeah. So you actually can get closer to them and things like that. But yeah, but again, it's like they don't make a ton of money on those either. And again, it's a lot of, they'll all have merch booths out there. And I don't know if the festivals are doing that where they're taking a chunk of the merch or not. But yeah, I would hope not. But yeah,
that will suck.
Yeah. Yeah, the artists are already screwed as it is because so many people don't buy music. And I've been guilty of it in the past of downloading stuff here and there, but I do try to buy when I can. And I try to, obviously I try to buy vinyl as much as I possibly.
Yeah.
And I do
a lot of that.
When I can, I try to buy directly from the artist if I can.
Oh, you don't try to buy off like Amazon or anything like that? Or?
There are times where I will, but usually that's more like Because usually I'm wanting like the special edition or a certain.
Okay.
So that's going to come from the artist directly anyway, or their label.
Yeah.
They're selling them. So I don't buy too much vinyl off Amazon. I've bought a few things over the years, but
okay,
majority of it's either from local record stores or from either the artist or the artist label. Yeah, because I figure at least, and I like it. That's one of the things we talked a little bit about Bandcamp, because you can
sell.
Yeah, they sell, and even if they're not, even if Bandcamp's not producing the vinyl for you, you can still sell vinyl on there that you used yourself or whatever. So and the artist takes a big chunk of that, especially over the last few years with the pandemic. Bandcamp kept doing it like every once a month they'd have a Friday where the proceeds went to the artist that day.
Really?
Cut. So a lot of the artists would wait, and they would hey, we're releasing a special edition on this Friday. So they'd put up 100 copies of Pink Vinyl or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they would put up downloads of B-sides that were never released.
Okay. It seems like Bandcamp is knowing what they're doing.
It seems like it, and like I said, like we talked I think last time, there's been a few artists I've seen that say that they like it better. Not being an artist, I don't know, and I don't know what the pricing is on that, but the one that when he was talking, he just said he liked the fact that he could sell all his merch, because he sells shirts, stickers
through Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's all on there. So it's, and plus you can stream music off of there. You can listen to it.
Yeah.
Well,
we should make that the new Spotify, honestly.
Maybe.
For real.
I'd say any artists that actually are listening to us, let us know what you think on that, and we can maybe talk about that more in the future. But if you do have a thought on what's better, let us know.
Yeah, because Spotify has been doing y'all dirty for
it seems like with as much, it's hard to sit there and say that you can justify paying artists fraction of a cent per stream. And your CEO made $30 million or however much he made last year. It's I know there's a lot of artists, and it's not necessarily if you took that 30 million, split it amongst everybody, it's not going to make them all rich, but at least they'd be getting a
good portion.
Yeah.
A fair share, I guess you could say.
Yeah. It's because that guy, he's making all of his money off of all the artists.
That's on the platform.
Yeah, he's basically exploiting all them. And he would argue that he's providing that platform to put it out there, and he put up the money to start it or whatever, and that there's some truth to that. But at the same side, it's you still wouldn't make any money if it wasn't for them. So it goes back to you could get into a whole
pimping them out
critique of capitalism and the exploitation of the labor of a person's labor. But this isn't a political podcast, so let's not talk about that. But I think I know there's I see a lot of that with artists where they're I've got all these followers, how come and I haven't even sold, I got 100 copies of my record and it's been up there for 6 months and I have 90 copies still available. It's but I've got 100,000. So
and then it makes them seem like it's not worth it. When honestly I feel like it's better if you have a lot less followers but a lot of supporters.
That's if I was an artist, I'd rather have a small group of dedicated supporters
and a lot of followers.
Thousands and thousands of people that just stream my music and don't buy anything. I do see a lot of things on Bandcamp where people they'll just put their music up there and ask for, there's the option to put for pay what you want. So you can download it free.
Okay.
If they put it that way. Or you can
pay for it
if you wanted to, you could put $1 in there or $10 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And when they do sell an album, they may put the album up for $10. But you can put more than that. Minimum is 10. But
so if you really love that artist, you're hey, I want to put $100 a pound.
So I would say, and I don't give a lot of extra, but at the very least, I'd always round up. If it's $9.95, I'll put it up to 10 just because I don't know numbers. But there are some artists where I have paid more because I think it's worth it, and I want to see them doing more. But I think when they do release stuff free, that's where I tend to buy the vinyl then.
Okay.
I'll listen to them okay, this is worth spending some money on. So I like that in that sense, that you put up there free, or you put it in a way where I can listen to it first. And then if I do like it, then I'm definitely going to try to buy it when I have the money, or,
you're more connected with it.
Yeah.
And see, with the with the followers situation, it gets a little tricky because when you are saying like you are prepared to release an album, right? And it's like I don't know how it works with the labels or not, or like even independent artists. They be like, okay, we're gearing up to release this album. Expected sales are gonna be, I don't know, probably like 30,000 first week if I already have like 3 million followers.
Yeah.
And it's like when they do less than that, like 20,000 or something like that, they feel like they're flop. Which I mean, 20,000 is, I feel like depending on who you are as an artist,
yeah,
that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? That's not.
I'd love to sell 20,000,
right? So yeah, but like a lot of artists feel like that's a flop.
Yeah.
And so they get that misconception of it's not. These people aren't your supporters. They're just following you just to see what you have, and just maybe you had a cool little video, then they just hit follow. Because I'm definitely guilty of that. I follow a lot of artists that I only like one little video of them, but I don't really pay attention to their things. So yeah, I can see how that can get you thrown in a loop, because you're like, okay, what am I doing wrong? It's not really nothing you're doing wrong. It's just you got to find your core audience.
You market to, or you just have to find that group, and hopefully if you have 1 million fans, I would think that at least 100,000 of those, 100 like solid good fans that are going to follow everything you do. The other thing I've seen, and I don't know if you're familiar too much with Patreon.
Not too familiar with it, but I heard about it.
There's a lot of artists, and I wish I had the money to support them all, but it's basically you sign up for like a monthly contribution. So
okay,
and then most of them will start at $1. Like you can pay $1 a month, and then that gives you access to the basic level, where you can listen to whatever music they post up there, or they'll have like they'll post a newsletter every week on there or whatever, something like that. And then they'll have different tiers. For $5, you get an exclusive album that's only available.
Oh, through Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at $10 you get this. Some of them, they'll be like $20 a month, and you'll get, if you sign up for a year, you get a T-shirt. And then you also get
like
merchandise, tier 2, 3, and then you'll get. I saw one where like if you were an active member, you got like a free ticket to their concert if they were in your area. You would get like a little like a sticker package every month or something like that, like different things like that. It's cool. It's just
it's a lot.
I can't sit there and commit $5 a month to every single artist.
Yes,
because obviously I have like a lot of artists, and not just hip. I like everything. Mm-hmm. So it's like I would end up spending, if I Patreon to every single artist I like, I'd be like negative thousands of dollars every month.
Yeah,
but
it is you with it sometimes.
Yeah, but it is, in one way it's kind of cool because it helps the artist kind of on a regular basis get some money, but it also, I think it does build a stronger fan base, because there are a lot of things. There's artists I follow, and they're like, hey, you should check this out on Patreon, and I'm like, I just can't commit right now. And I'm like, but I really want that. But unfortunately, so.
Yeah, well, what I say with that Patreon is the way you explained it. That seems like that'd be your core following right there.
Yeah, if you're willing to pay even $1 a month for an artist is some sort of commitment.
So I would gauge my off of that.
Yeah, so I've seen that a lot more. A lot of artists have that, and that's how they, like some of them, they'll release, like if their new album is coming out, they'll release the vinyl on Patreon first.
Yeah,
if it sells out, it sells out. If it doesn't, then it's like a month later they'll put it up for everybody else.
For everybody to listen to.
Yeah, and again, that's rewarding people for actually making the effort. So I'll make a deal with all of our listeners out there. If you guys get us up to like where we're actually making money on this thing, I'll contribite to a couple different artists.
I will too.
Yeah, we'll sign up for a couple Patreon. But you guys got to help us make that money. So tell your friends.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. With the following situation too, that's where we get a lot of gimmicks coming out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people aren't like I was saying, a lot of people aren't following for the music. They're following because music is starting to become like a lifestyle now, or like a reality show. So a lot of times people are misleading with the sales, because are being misled by the sales because they think that they're the hottest stuff. Like I said, you got 3 million followers, but the fact is that you're more of a personality.
Yeah.
Then the music kind of takes it back.
Yeah, you're popular not because of your music, but
yeah,
you're entertaining somewhat on the
on a certain social media site, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing too. You got to realize, a lot of artists got to realize, like, am I just on here being
like, what am I
personality? Yeah, or is it really my music speaking through it myself? You know what I'm saying? Speaking through it.
I would say the majority of the popular stuff is you're popular because of the passion, not the music itself. And I think that's definite with most of the pop music. You know, like, not even just hip hop, but just pop music in general.
Yeah.
You know, you're popular just because, you know.
I think Kendrick Lamar does it really well when it comes to this realm.
Yeah, because he does use social media a lot and has a lot of popularity, but he also maintains his integrity, I think.
Yeah, well, he does. Well, he don't really use it that much. It's like, and he don't really do interviews too.
Right.
So that kind of starves the fans out of it. But anything he does say is always through his music.
Okay.
So you see what I'm saying? So, like, if they have questions, or if we have questions about like this and something like that, we want to know from Kendrick. We got to wait till a new album come out.
Oh, okay.
So then, boom, we starting to buy that album. We trying to listen to the new album. We talking about the new album. Everybody's got, Kendrick said this on this album. He said that on this album.
Okay.
But other artists would be like, they'll go to Instagram live and be like, oh, such and such.
See, with him, I was thinking like of the videos he's done. You know, like the one he did recently was kind of a tribute to the Roots from the GNX album.
Oh yeah,
it's called. You know, so that he used that visual to help him. And then from the his last album, was it Mr. Morale?
Yeah, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
That the domestic violence song, and they had that.
Yeah.
Video.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty. You know, so that's where I was saying, like, he uses media, like, that's
we cry together.
Yeah, like he puts out these images and stuff, and he puts them, so it's popular in that sense because it's creative, but maintains artistic. It's not just
his integrity on everything.
Yeah, it's not just like an empty pretty face. It's actually like depth behind all of it.
Yeah, and that is a good side to what I was saying too, because I wasn't thinking about on that end. I was just thinking about on that aspect of people who just are like, they use the social media as a diary kind of.
Yeah, it's like their whole story on there. Yeah.
And it's like, your music should be the diary. That's why people are coming to it, you know. And
because for the most part, I don't care about the musician's personal life.
Yeah. Unless the music is connected to it. That's the reason why I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know.
But I don't, like, one of the groups I follow on Facebook, that's just like a general hip hop group. They were like posting like pictures of like, hey, here's Beyonce's daughter at a store or something like that. I'm like, what does that have to do with hip hop? That has nothing to do with any of this. Like,
nothing.
That's just popularity and gossip. That's like old tabloid type stuff, and it's like none of this stuff. Yeah, and then it also goes, like sales and things like that. How like artists were like, I sold 1 million records, so I'm the greatest of all time. But no, not really. You just make records, and then it's like the opposite, where the talented ones aren't selling, but maybe they do have a bigger following, but they're just not selling. Yeah.
See, I have a split, I guess, split opinion on that, just because, like you said, you might have sold 1 million records, but your record was not hot.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like there are people who have sold 1 million records that the album definitely deserved it.
I think, I'm not saying just because you sold records, you're terrible. Because there are some that have, but the point is like, if you just because you sold, doesn't mean you put out. And there's to sell 1 million records, you did have to put something out that was listenable.
Yeah, and it wasn't just trash all the way through. Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily mean it was artistic or talented.
You might just roll away.
Makes sense.
At one point,
that's where like somebody like Puffy, he doesn't make art; he makes commercial music.
Yeah, he does make
when he's not busy behind the scenes. Yeah, in trouble. But when he puts the bottles of oil away, he makes entertainment. And that's where I think we've talked a little bit about like Drake. Like for me, I've never considered him a rapper. I've always considered him an entertainer.
Yeah,
and a pop entertainer. Like I'm not a fan really, but coming from a different point of view, I know we've had that discussion before.
Mhm.
I look at him as an entertainer, and you've sold millions and millions of records, but
Yeah,
I don't think you've done art.
artist in the world.
Yeah, and I don't think you've really done any art from my point of view.
Okay.
You've just made an entertaining
commodity. Yeah, I mean, I can see how you see it because, like, especially a lot of Drake's latest stuff, and I want to say latest, like, past 10 years, it's been mainly commercial music. Yeah. But there's a time in the period where it was a Drake that was, I won't say conscious, but he was definitely in his feelings. I mean, I'm not going to say he's not in his feelings now, but he was like, it was definitely, it was more of his life music. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Where he talked about a lot of girls, where he talked about where he came from, where he talked about, you know, how he was being kind of confused on his mixed racial backgrounds, being Jewish, black. It was a lot more depth into him before, you know, so like that's why a lot of artists, well, I can say a lot of artists, but that's why a lot of like people who really love Drake from the beginning and who kind of stared off of him a little bit was kind of scratching their heads. Because I mean, he was always like a hits man. Like, I'm not saying like that was not there. Like, he always was a radio person. Just the way his music was always had a lot more depth to it.
Yeah, because I was never checking when it first came out, like, you know, a different mindset at the time. And then when I did, all I was hearing was this pop stuff, and it was like, and so I think we talked about it, how when the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake thing
popped off.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was like, wait a second, people actually take Drake serious as an MC. Like, it never dawned on me. I always thought of him as an entertainer.
Yeah.
In fact, and then I heard I forget which song it was, but it was Drake's song, and I was like, oh wait, he actually can rap.
Yeah.
Because I'd never heard him really just rap. It was always his kind of singing.
No, that singy type of stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, that, like, for me, that was the biggest surprise about that whole thing, was that, like, you know, anybody actually took him seriously as an MC enough. And I'm like, how can somebody like Kendrick even care enough to battle him? But apparently he was there.
Yeah.
So, and I missed out on that. But
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you missed out on a lot of Drake's serious, more vulnerable, I guess, more in depth and personal, I guess, arc of his career. And so with that,
and then
he made a switch. I mean, which I get, because Kendrick Lamar came through. And I'm not saying like in this recent past years, I'm saying like when they kind of first, when Kendrick first kind of came out, it was, Drake had to deal with a lot of, I guess, internal battles with himself, because he was one like the number one artist still, I believe, at that time. I want to say like 2012, 2013.
And all of a sudden, this nobody from Compton was taken.
Yeah, this kid. I mean, he was cool with him at a point. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was just saying like Drake was having all this success, and he was still, the hip hop was still kind of like not revering him as accepted, I guess you could say. Yeah, and he was like, why is this kid getting all the accolades that I want, but because he doesn't have these numbers that I have, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's why
he makes substance, and you're just making pop music.
Yeah, and I mean, and in a way, even when Kendrick did kind of like do his pop thing, like with Taylor Swift and stuff like that, Kendrick kept it genuine, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna say keep it real, because that's not what I'm trying to get to, but it was more, I don't know how to say it. You could tell he was a rapper on a pop song. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't felt. It didn't feel like
following Old Dirty Bastard's footsteps into a
Mariah Carey. Yeah. But yeah, when Drake had to deal with that, you know, he had to look at it and just like, you know. And then when Kendrick had the Control verse, you heard the Control verse?
Control from.
Oh, you heard the Control verse?
Sure, right?
Oh man, well, this is the whole thing that kind of like ignited.
What album is that from?
No, it's a verse, right?
Oh,
Kendrick Lamar's verse. But it's a Big Sean song.
Oh, okay. All right.
But people don't call it that no more. It's Kendrick's, like,
the Big Sean part doesn't even matter.
Yeah. And then there's a dude named Jay Electronica on there as well.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, but nobody even remembers that he's on it because Kendrick stole that
whole song.
Yeah, and this is back in like 2012 or 2013.
So it's early on in his.
Yes, and this thing that ignited the whole situation, because Kendrick pretty much called everybody out at that time that he was his peers. Which I know he said my boy's name. He said Big Crit. What he say? He said that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mill, ASAP Rocky, Drake, Tyler, Mac Miller. He said, I got love for all of y'all, but I'm about to murder you niggas. They said, I'm about to make sure your core friends, they ain't even heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not a noun or a verb from you. And then he was just going in. And so that ignited this whole kind of.
So it's kind of the start of the rivalry.
Yeah, not even that. It was like this whole thing in the hip hop world where it was like, because he, in that verse too, Kendrick claimed that he was the king of the East Coast as well. So a lot of East Coast rappers were responding back.
He just came out and was
responded back to him. Right. A lot of people responded back to him, and Drake, they asked Drake about it because Drake was the number one artist at the time. And Drake had he was on this interview or something like that, and it was like, he's like, yeah, I feel like Kendrick, he gave us a moment, but he said, that's all it is. He said, does anybody remember how that verse goes? He's like,
everybody does.
Yeah, everybody knows. Everybody knows how that verse. I mean, I just spit it, and I haven't heard that verse in years. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, at that time I wasn't anywhere near like that mainstream hip hop. I was just still a lot of underground, right? It was actually probably more into the punk scene at that time and metal.
Yeah, you definitely
drifted a bit, so I didn't even know any of that. But
you missed that on that one because that called the whole. I mean, everybody from the East Coast was kind of like chiming in on it because they was like, how this kid from Compton gonna say he the king of the East Coast and all this type of stuff, and it caused like a whole that shook up the hip hop game for a hot minute, and so Drake had to deal with that, and he said that when he met Kendrick after that verse, he said Kendrick was like, it was like all love and stuff like that, and Drake said he felt like, he said it was cool, but he said, I thought that he was gonna be on that same type of energy, so he's like, he kind of lost sentiment for that verse. He said,
oh, like it was just nothing because he just...
Yeah. So then when K-Dot heard that, when Kendrick heard that, he had a BT verse or cipher, and then he kind of like dissed them, like, yeah, he dissed Drake, like right after that. So he was like, he's like, they haven't been the same since they dropped Control and took the sensitive rappers back in his pajama clothes. He's talking about Drake and stuff. So then that started that again, and so
they did some stuff together though at some point.
Yeah, on Kendrick's first album, Good Kid, Mad City, they got a song called Poetic Justice.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that the only one they've done together?
No, I think on Drake's album he has a song with Kendrick on there, or it's the interlude. So I don't know if it's a song, but yeah, I think that was it. I think. Oh, they got a song called "Effing Problems" with ASAP Rocky.
Okay.
But it's like a whole team of people. But that's I don't know. I kind of spat off to something else. My bad. But yeah. What's it talking about again?
All right. Tangents.
Yeah.
On tangents. Yeah. I mean, I think overall the point of this is just, if you like an artist, support them.
Yeah.
Do more than just like them on Facebook or on Instagram or TikTok or whatever's replacing TikTok. Although I think Elon Musk is talking about buying TikTok. So
really? He about to take over the world, ain't he?
Yeah. Again, that's for another podcast. This is hip hop, not politics.
Yeah, it's not politics.
Although we do need to have a hip hop discussion about politics in hip hop.
Yes, that'd be
a good topic.
That is a good.
That one could go for a while because I like that stuff. So
yeah.
But anyway, another tangent. Yeah. So I think the point of this was just support your artists if you can. If they drop a new video, share it. If you can, support them. Buy their merch. Obviously, I encourage you to buy vinyl because it's a wonderful thing. Although expensive.
I'm on my start buying vinyl. So
yeah, he's gonna hate me in a while when he realizes how much money it's
that cost.
Investment. Yeah.
I was looking at the damn one and that cost $43.
Yeah.
Jesus, thought that was $20.
Well, if you're smooth and go through the self checkout, you can get it for free.
Oh. Yeah.
You didn't hear that from me.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that one might be one that you can find on Amazon for cheaper, or you might consider looking at used record stores.
Okay. Yeah, I might have
a few out there.
Check some out and didn't maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if recycled would. They don't have as big a used section on hip hop, but there are a few places over there that you might be able to find that.
Okay.
Maybe one day we'll go do some record shopping.
Yeah.
Take you out and show you what's up. But
yeah.
But yeah, just the artists are the ones that are making this music that we all love, so we got to support them if we want them to keep making it. And I know times are tough for everybody, but if you can,
it's a little here, a little there. Buy an album here or buy a song there.
Yeah, buy a hat, buy a sticker pack,
a bracelet,
go to their shows,
yeah,
whatever, donate.
Yep.
Just throw $20 in an envelope and mail it to them.
Yeah, we got to keep music alive.
Yeah, keep it alive and keep it so people can make music for the sake of art, not for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Not that to get a paycheck for it, but don't make music specifically for the paycheck.
Don't let the business overtake the art.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We need it. The business need to support the art.
Exactly.
So that's the way.
I mean, that's been a challenge with the music industry for years. And it's just gotten worse now with the streaming. So, but yeah, as fans, we should do what we can to support. So,
all right.
We're going to do another top 5 that always ends up being a lot more than 5.
Well, I'm proud of they be a lot more than 5 because there's a lot of times where I'll be drawing blanks. So.
What the hell? Top 5 rap collabs.
Oh, okay.
Let's define that. Are you like a feature or like?
Oh, yeah, feature.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say like an actual team or nothing like that.
Okay. I'm gonna throw 2 out there.
Okay.
And count it as 1, but it's Buddy from De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising. It's
okay.
De La Tribe, and Jungle Brothers.
Yeah.
And then on Done by the Forces by Nature, by Jungle Brothers, there's a song called Doing Our Own Thing, and it's got De La Brothers, Queen Latifah, De La, and Money Love on it.
Okay.
So it's basically both of them are kind of Native Tongues Posse's tracks. So
got you.
Those are 2 of my all-time favorite collabs, I guess.
All right. Let's say for me it'd be Frank Ocean and Andre 3000 with Pink Matter.
Never heard that one.
It's of course it's Andre. So Andre 3000, he did his thing on that one.
Big Crit's gonna get jealous of you talking about Andre. So.
Hey, look, Chris should understand as a Southern native, Andre 3000 is crazy. Let me see.
Now
I want to say these. Okay, this one is just my personal favorite, or one of my personal favorites, and it's T.I. and Big Crit on Big Bang, off of my favorite album, Forever's a Mighty Long Time. That. I mean, honestly, I can go through that whole album and say anybody, but I think that one was a very, very good collab.
The one, I think we talked about this on that album, and I don't remember the name of the song, but it was him, Big Crit, and Joy.
I really Miss Georgia California.
Their vocals blended extremely well.
Yes, it did.
Like it really made the song. And I'm not usually a big fan of the singing and typically, but that one really
it stood out really good.
I just thought they really
really well
meshed very well together. So put that one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. From Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet, it's a Burn Hollywood Burn, which Public Enemy, Ice Cube, and Big Daddy Kane.
Q was on that?
Yeah.
I do not remember that. Yeah. I do not remember that. Q was
in fact, I've seen a couple posts and it's kind of insensitive, but it was a picture of the fires in LA over Hollywood, and it said Cube and Public Enemy are so happy right now.
Oh,
that's
it is.
So, yeah.
That is.
But that was a hell of a collaboration.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got? You know what? I did like that collab. I'm not gonna say this the greatest collaboration of all time or nothing like that, but that J. Cole and Benny the Butcher joint.
Johnny P's Cadillac.
Yeah, Johnny P's Cadillac. Cole did his thing on that one.
I love that song. That's actually one of my favorite J. Cole verses, and
the
whole the beat and everything. And another Benny the Butcher is one called Kings with Crowns, and it's him and Black Thought.
Oh, okay.
Those are my 2 favorite Benny the Butcher songs.
Okay.
And both, I mean, Benny holds his own on both of them, but J. Cole and Black Thought definitely
did. They complemented for earlier, didn't they? Yeah,
definitely. But yeah, and that beat for that Johnny P's Cadillac is so like that little singing all the way through. Yeah, I love that song. Yeah, that's a good call. Let's see. I guess it's not exactly a feature, but we've talked about it before. But with Me and the Biz from
Master Ace.
So it's not a feature because it's Master Ace doing both verses, but we'll call it a.
Wait, did it say featuring Mr. Biz on it?
No, it's just called Me and the Biz as a song, and none of the credits ever say he's on it.
Biz Markie in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think too.
From Project Blow, there's a song by Chillin' Villain Empire that features LA Cool.
Okay.
Called Narcolepsy. One of my favorite songs of all time.
Is that one of your favorite songs of all time?
And LA Cool's verse on it is really, really sick. But that's a great feature. And that's hard to maybe necessarily call them a feature because they've done a lot of stuff together. But I would consider it's credited as CV featuring LA Cool. So we'll call it a feature. But yeah, that's definitely I love that song.
Okay.
It's off the Project Blow compilation that they put out.
Yeah, I gotta listen to this Project Blow.
To me, that's some of the best MCs in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They compliment each other well.
They're also talented between Freestyle Fellowship and Chillin' Villain Empire, Mass Men, Hip Hop Clan, all those crews. Otherwise, we talked about him. He served Eminem early on in his career.
Okay.
The Rap Olympics there.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah.
I can't believe we talked about it earlier in this episode. Kendrick Lamar's Control verse.
Oh, there you
go.
Although it's not as a good feature, correct?
I mean,
because he served them both. So
he didn't serve the whole industry.
It was no longer a clap. He just took over the whole song. So yeah.
Which I gotta show you that, by the way.
I'll check that one out. I definitely want to hear that one. Yeah. Let's see. There's got to be some. I know there's a ton of other ones out there.
Hey,
I'm reading in my record spines over there.
I know I can't.
So
trying to come up with some.
Yeah, there's a bunch out there.
I want to say. It's definitely a collab, but I want to say Dre and Snoop. And I don't have a specific song, but just anything they do together is pretty much always golden to me.
Yeah.
So especially the early stuff, because we still got Deep Cover.
That's still, I think we've talked. That's my hands down favorite.
Yeah, Dre Day, Still Dre.
Yeah.
Juice. Yeah, Gin and Juice. Oh no, Dre's not on that one. But
no. Yeah.
I guess he produced it. Yeah, right. So okay, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But you're thinking of more that where they rap together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, they had a good vibe together, production wise, and just
yeah. Oh, what about the G thing? Yeah, that's the
that's the one I was thinking. Yeah, and I don't even think Dre's a very good rapper, but they do work well together.
Yeah, I think he's more of a. Because they say everybody writes his stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how much he writes of his own. I'm sure he'd say he does, but
yeah, because I heard that at least you can hear the influence when he raps, and he's like, "Oh no, Eminem wrote this."
Yeah,
and you'd be like, "Oh, that's Q wrote this one," and so I definitely could tell sometimes where somebody else definitely wrote his lyrics.
Yeah, because he kind of raps like the person.
Yeah, he does. Because he has the same cadence of it. So,
here's one I just thought of. It's Tupac and Digital Underground on same song, which was Tupac's first recorded verse or at least first released.
Oh yeah,
yeah, came out in.
I think I did.
Same song. It was from a movie called Nothing But Trouble, and then it was released on the Digital Underground's second record, which is actually an EP called This Is an EP.
Oh, but that's a title.
Yeah. All right, we're releasing an EP. What should we call it? I don't know. It's an EP. There we go. But yeah, that's still probably my favorite Tupac verse anyway. But just yeah.
Wait, hold on. On Round and Round Tupac song, was Digital Underground on that?
On Round and Round?
Yeah.
No, I can't think off the top of my head.
I feel like I heard somebody else on there, but I cannot think of it.
I'm not sure.
I think it might have been Shock G, but I'm just
okay.
Yeah, it was Shock G. Yeah, it was Shock G because he even says his name in there. So he's okay. Yeah.
Well, Shock G basically was Digital Underground. There was more in there, but he was the primary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would call that a hell of a collaboration. Actually, led to a lot of good things. So.
My bad, y'all.
All right, one more, and then we'll call it.
See if we can.
Let's see.
Think about it.
Trying to get inspiration from my figures up there.
I'm trying to think about like an unlikely collab or something like that.
Yeah, what would be something odd?
Man.
There's so many out there.
Sometimes I feel like we need to prepare for these like top 5 situations.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of the point of it, I think, right? Was just to get our off the top of our head. But yeah. I don't know. My memory.
It's not even that. It's just like when it's on the spot, you lose every single thing that you ever like listen to. And it's like,
it just all goes out the door.
You're right.
Yeah. Let's see.
I cannot think of one more.
There's got to be something.
I cannot think of one more right now. What you got in there?
LOG. Alchemist and Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay. Oh, so okay, yeah.
All right.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it's a producer, yeah. So I don't know if we can count that one.
Yeah, that's the only one of these that has a collaboration. Yeah. Sure, that was a bust. Also, it's a Mr. Len, Mr. Len, who was the DJ for Company Flow. And we've talked about this. It was a song called Taco Day featuring Jean Grey.
Yes, you did talk about that. Yeah.
I'll call that one because that's one of my favorite songs by her. It's all about a school shooting.
Gotcha.
So we'll call it at that one because we're struggling here.
Yeah.
Wasting a lot of your time. So that's it for today. Thanks everybody for checking us out. Like, subscribe, and share.
And keep it easy. I want to drill blank still.
Oh, it shut us down completely on that one. All right. Thanks everybody.